Hello and welcome back to my Vampire Survivors series, where normally I'm trying to unlock all of the things. Today instead, I'm gonna be doing something a little bit strange, a little bit weird, a little bit counterintuitive. So, in the previous episode, I tried to get the most gold possible in a single run. It was kind of interesting, I guess, but for this video, I had a couple ideas in mind, and one of them was actually something that was somewhat similar, which is the most kills in a single run, like the most enemy kills. And at the end of the day, I decided not to go with that because I figured it would be too similar to the most gold. So instead, I'm going for something a little bit interesting, which is going for the least kills. I don't know how it's going to work. I'm not going to lie. Here's the weapons I sealed. Pretty much just like a bunch of ones that do damage. And here's the character I'm going to play. Gallo. Starts with minus 20% cooldown. And starts with the Lancet. I'm not going to lie, I don't really know how this run is going to work, if it's going to work at all, but we're going to try to make it happen. Now, important is that I think that I want to try Moon Gallo. Wait, Moon Gallo? I thought it was Moon Glow. Is this a typo? That's weird. Moon Glow, because it starts with pretty much all of the stage items, and I don't think I'm going to be getting a lot of experience in this run, so I figured I should go for a way to at least get some items in my build. I don't really know, man. I don't think this is going to make any sense. That's okay. Excuse me. I don't really know, like, what Arcana to take. Okay, that's not what I wanted to happen there, so let's undo that. I don't know what Arcana to take, because, like, I don't want to kill things. I guess Silent Sanctuary would be good, and then I could try to get the Laurel, and then just have, like, a Laurel and Lancet be, like, the only weapons that I take the entire time. Okay, let's see if we can make that happen. So now we're going to banish... Or no, we need to get the Laurel here. Okay, sweet. We did it. And now we're going to pick up all of these items. Well, we're not going to end up taking the... We're not going to take the skull, but everything else we'll take. Because, I mean, we might as well, I guess. Like I said, I don't know if this run's even possible. I don't think we can get experience. I don't know if it's possible for us to, like, kill these pots and then maybe, like, the pots drop XP or something. I don't know. But you know what? This is what I'm going for. I'm not gonna lie, this might just be a really boring run to watch. I thought it would be kind of interesting, but considering the fact that we're literally just not going to be, like, attacking anything, I have a bad feeling that this run is going to be a stinker and not interesting at all. But you know, we'll see. Okay, we'll see. I mean, you know, luckily we're playing on Moon Glow, or Moon Gallo, which has a pretty short timer. It's a 15-minute stage only, so, you know, that's something. Let me actually see if there's anything here that I want. I could get another Arcana. Sure, we'll take an Arcana, considering we're probably not going to be able to get another one this entire run. And I don't know. We'll pick Awake. There. Okay. This is it. This is the run. Feel free to try this run at home, I guess, if it seems interesting to you. I don't know if it is interesting at all. It might not even be challenging. Moonglow is not known to be a very difficult stage. It would definitely be more interesting if I was playing on a more difficult stage, but then I would actually like just probably die because those stages actually have enemies. This stage does not really have enemies. This is the extent of the enemies that chase you. But, you know, is what it is. So, how about that DLC, huh? I still haven't looked into it a little bit more, but I'm pretty sure that it's supposed to come out the 13th, right? Which, for me, is 2 days from now. However, the day that this is being uploaded would be tomorrow. So that's kind of cool. I don't know how I'm going to handle that. My guess would be that I'm going to record the episode on the 13th, so the day that it releases, and then my first episode of the DLC will come out on the 14th. That's what I'm feeling right now. Assuming that it actually does come out on the 14th. If it doesn't, then, I don't know, it'll just be like, you know, the day after the DLC actually comes out is when my first episode for it will be. So, I'll look forward to that, I suppose. I know nothing about it, almost, except it's supposed to be a fantasy theme. And I kind of like it that way, not knowing a ton about it. I knew pretty much nothing coming into the Legacy of the Moonspell DLC. The only thing I knew was that there was like a stage and some characters, right? And I kind of knew some of the weapons and characters because like the unlocks and all that, but you know, other than that, yeah, I didn't know too much about it. But it's cool. It's certainly cool. Playing Vampire Survivors, getting new weapons. I'm interested to see what the new weapon mechanics are going to be like. I really like that they tried to add like new and interesting things in the DLC compared to like what they've done before. Like different types of effects as well. I definitely like that. So I hope that they keep that up in the new DLC, I suppose. I should have done hurry mode. That would have been more interesting. Or, yeah, hurry mode, right? Hurry mode's the one that 2 times his speed. Right now I'm on hyper mode. Alright, well. We're almost a third of the way through the run. We got a giant crab following us. I don't know if we can get rid of him. We'll probably stick around for the entire run. Okay, and now we've got another crab following us. We're gonna make a few crab friends. Don't worry about it. It's chill. It's chill. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've talked about it yet, but right now I'm streaming Symphony of War on my Twitch stream, which is kind of like a tactical RPG, turn-based, like, you know, think Fire Emblem, I suppose. That's, you know, probably the most famous tactical RPG, or most well-known, rather. And it's got, like, kind of a medieval fantasy setting, which is chill. Although there are, like, guns and cannons, which is kind of interesting. I kind of like that, though. And, actually, another game that I want to try, which I guess, you know, I'll go ahead and spoil it, released recently on Steam. I think it's called Chained Echoes, maybe? And apparently it's a JRPG it's a JRPG inspired game that's been in development for like 7 years. And it was made by a single developer, I'm pretty sure. So over the course of 7 years, this one person has been working on developing it, and it started as a Kickstarter, I think, and it recently released, which is kind of cool. I've heard some good things, some not so good things. I don't know if I'm gonna stream it, but it's something that's on my radar to look for, so if that interests you, then be on the lookout, I suppose. Or you can, you can play it yourself. I don't know, I like JRPGs. I like RPGs in general. I mean, I like games in general, all kinds of different games. I don't know, there's just something like about JRPGs that as a child I've always drawn myself to them, but honestly, the older that I get, the more that I realize that I don't actually like JRPGs that much. I don't know, a lot of the time they're just like really grindy and cheesy, and I don't know if I'm into that necessarily. I like the cheesiness and like grandioseness of like the Metal Gear franchise, right? I don't know, JRPGs, they're something. But at the same time, I mean, one of my favorite games of all time, honestly, which maybe I shouldn't even admit to this, is Final Fantasy 13-2, which Final Fantasy 13 is one of the dark horses of the Final Fantasy franchise for a lot of people, but 13-2, I really enjoyed it, and like, I think the fact that it was so unique and the way that it presented the like story and just overall game, not to get too into it for spoiler reasons, but it basically has to do with like time travel-ish and like timelines and like alternate timelines and that kind of a thing. And it's really interesting, it's really cool, it's fun. The combat is very similar to Final Fantasy 13, so if that's not your thing, sorry. But I was fine with it. And yeah, I don't know, I love that game. So, I can definitely enjoy JRPGs like Persona 5, I like that game. Persona 4 is chill too. I played it a little bit. Played Final Fantasy X. I played Xenoblade Chronicles X. I think that game is really interesting. I could never quite get into the combat just because like I never was able to like understand it on a deep level. But I love the music and the world and exploration. I really like the exploration aspect of Xenoblade Chronicles X, as well as the mechas. I don't know. I think I just need to come to terms with the fact that like I don't know what I like and what I don't like. And that's okay. You're not always gonna know what appeals to you and what doesn't appeal to you. That's part of being human, right? In fact, it's very difficult for people to explain their own thought processes. I don't know why that came out so weird. I'm sure some of you out there have heard about this, but there's like a pretty famous study about, people being in a room, or, being put in a room, and then there's like two balls attached to strings. And the idea is that there's like so many ways, like a certain number of ways, to get these two balls on the string to like touch each other or something. And the goal is to see if they can find all of them. But there's one way in particular that most people struggle to think of. And so, they're sitting there and they don't know what the last one is. And then somebody walks into the room, one of the researchers presumably, and starts I think it's like a grandfather clock with like a swinging pendulum. Something like that. Or, it's something similar with like a pendulum. And that's actually the last way to get the balls to connect to each other, is you like swing one like a pendulum and then like hit the other one, or something stupid. I don't know. I explained the experiment poorly. That's the basic premise. And after they saw the pendulum swinging back and forth, most of the participants figured out the last solution. However, when the researchers asked them, like, hey, how did you suddenly figure out, or not suddenly, but like, how did you figure out the last solution? A lot of them actually didn't say that it was because they saw the pendulum swinging. They just came up with some other reason. It was some, I don't know, something like, I thought about when I was a kid and I saw a stick swinging or something. I don't know. It's something silly like that. Anyways, the point is that people aren't very good at actually understanding their inner thought processes. It actually goes back to another, not like a study, but a book that I read by a pretty famous statistician named Malcolm Gladwell. Some of you also probably know the book to which I will refer, which is called Blink. Now, I'm not going to lie, I haven't actually read a lot of that book. I read like the first maybe 50 pages, not even. It was a Christmas gift. I'm not really big into reading though, so like, you know, books aren't a great gift for me. But I did read a part of it, and, you know, I've heard people talk about it. And the idea of that book is that a lot of our brain, I don't know how to explain it. I'm going to struggle, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try and struggle, okay? Oh my god, I died. Unlucky. A lot of our initial perceptions or something of like a person or thing are done subconsciously, right? It's like the gut feeling, the whole concept of a gut feeling. It's something that like we don't quite understand. It's just our initial impressions, right? Always go with your first instinct is what, you know, some people say. And the reason for that is because our subconscious brain is doing a lot of processing behind the scenes. And a lot of it happens instantaneously and has something to do with like our survival instincts, you know, back from when we were like wild beasts or something. Because like, you know, you wouldn't always be able to spend like 10 seconds even, you know, analyzing a situation or analyzing, you know, a potential predator that you come up across in the wild. You have to immediately determine, am I in a safe situation or not? So it's something along those lines. But one of the famous examples that they used, Malcolm Gladwell used in the book near the beginning, was some kind of like statue in a museum, and it was some kind of like Greek statue thing, and there wasn't one that had been discovered in a while, and so it was a really big deal when they uncovered it, and like everything about it seemed legitimate. You know, all the signs of like forgery or imitation or whatever, they didn't find any. And so, you know, it seemed legit, but they still called in a bunch of experts to see what their opinion of it was. And a lot of the experts, it seemed like, said that for some reason they felt off about the statue, but they couldn't think of why. And so they were like, yeah, you know, seems fine to me. And it turned out that it was actually a fake. Or maybe not a fake, but like, you know, it wasn't like what they thought it was. And so I don't remember why I started talking about this. I'm not gonna lie. Don't remember why I started talking about this, but yeah. People aren't good at explaining themselves and their thought processes, and a lot of it's done subconsciously. And Blink. Yeah. Alright. It's almost 15 minutes. I think I'm gonna live. I didn't even need the other Arcana, the Awake Arcana, but I took it anyways for fun. Ah! Alright. Well, that was an enjoyable run, I'm sure. Watching me walk around for 15 minutes, not killing anything. I'm never doing that ever again. I'm sorry to put you all through that. But you know what? I'm glad I did it. I'm glad that I at least showed that it was kind of possible on a really easy map. Yeah, to get a win with 0 kills. Anyways, that's going to be it from me for today's episode. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you have a good day, good night, wherever you are in the world. And I hope to see you next time, where I am going to play a better run, more interesting character. I'm going to do something more fun than run around freezing enemies, trying not to die, and talking about like JRPGs. So, hope to see you there. I'm out of here. Peace.